and welcome to the stage, star of Under the Silver Lake, Mr. Andrew Garfield.
Really moving. Thanks so much for being here. This is really lovely. This is really great. I'm excited for a conversation about this, and thank you for hosting us. Thank you. Thank you to the Prince Charles doing the best cinema in London. And what do you all think? Everyone, what did you think? I'm just kidding.
I want to ask a couple of quick questions, then we'll open it up to these guys. First of all, can you talk us through your first meeting with David? How did he sell this film to you?
He didn't really need to sell it. I'd seen It Follows, which I loved, and I'd seen Myth of the American Sleepover, which I loved. I was in Australia. I was shooting a very different film with Mel Gibson, and I was in the middle of World War II in Okinawa, kind of thing. And I Skyped with David after having read the script, which is pretty much page for page, word for word, almost, scene for scene, description for description. He's so meticulous, he is so particular. It was 40 pages longer than any other script I've ever read, including an Aaron Sorkin script. And I thought, this is a guy that knows what he wants. And I find that very attractive. And also, I read it and I saw myself as a 14-year-old boy, with all of my dysfunction, but this character happened to be in his mid-30s and slightly regressed and a little bit lost and confused, and I thought, this is like the Goonies. This is like if Mikey from the Goonies just had stayed 14 for the rest of his life, and never got laid, and was kind of a regressed adventurer who never moved on from childhood and longing for mystery and meaning and kind of got stuck in himself. And I thought that was cool. And it was funny. I found it really funny, and I also found it incredibly intriguing. I didn't get it, and I wanted to get it. In that first scene, that first like piece of the film where it says "Beware the dog killer" behind, and I'm looking longingly at any woman, and that may or may not reject me. And I look at the Beware the Dog Killer thing. We did a lot of different takes, and every single take I said, look, I'm gonna play it differently every single time, just internally. I'm gonna do one take where I know I'm the dog killer. I'm gonna do one take where I am the dog killer, but I don't know I'm the dog killer because I kill dogs in my sleep. I'm gonna do one take where I have no interest in who the dog killer is, and he was like, great, and I'll just pick the one that I like. So it really was this kind of very free-form, dreamlike, and like the film is, it feels like a dream, and I think, or a nightmare, or a kind of a dreammare. So he really didn't answer any questions for me.
On the final shot of the film, because seeing as everyone here has seen the film, we can talk about this. The little smile you give at the end of the film, can you talk us through that? I find that very, very eerie.
That's the bit you find eerie.
In the context of the film, it's got a bit of a Norman Bates vibe to it.
Yes. I mean, can I talk you through that? I might pull a David Robert Mitchell on you and say, no, I can't talk you through that. I think for me it was like that, in that moment where, for the character, or as the character, it was like, it took me all of this time, all of this nonsense maybe, all of this getting lost, all of this getting found, all of this meandering, arc to get to the place where I just lost my apartment, which is what was going to happen at the beginning of the film anyway. And I think there was like a bit of like, for me that last moment is a bit of like, I did the thing happened that I've been trying to avoid. I've accepted that I've been broken up with. I've accepted that I'm unemployed. I've accepted that I'm kind of a useless human being. I've accepted that I've made one little step into a possibly adult future where maybe I move home with my mother for the next 2 years of my life and work a job that I hate. But either way, I have the dream's over. There's like, oh, it's over. The dream is over, and I think the smile also is a little bit of like, well, what a great ride that little step was. That long step was a kind of a wild ride, and I wouldn't have changed it, maybe, or not. None of those things.
That's a good answer. I'd be really keen to hear about your experience of actually visiting the real Silver Lake. And did you go there with David? Was he sort of pointing out all the weird stuff? Did it have that kind of undercurrent of eeriness that you kind of get in the film? Like,
it's very much David's version of Silver Lake. It's very much his. It's like in the same way that, you know, New York, Woody Allen's New York will be unrecognizable to Martin Scorsese, and Martin Scorsese's New York will be unrecognizable to Woody Allen's, but they live on the same block, kind of thing. And so this is absolutely David's interpretation of the Silver Lake that he's lived in for the past however many years. I don't know exactly how long he's lived there, because I never really spent much time in Silver Lake, and LA's a, you know, it's endlessly fascinating, mysterious, superficial, deep. It's a lot of things all at once.
And a contradiction.
Absolutely, where dreams go to be lived and sometimes die.
What do you think is the parrot's thing? The parrot.
Oh gosh, the parrot. Well, I have no. Well, for me, it's like I can say what.
Was the parrot actually making sounds live when you were filming?
Hell no.
What is your guessing? What is your guess?
Oh well, I mean, for me, I think what I like about the final scene of the film is that he's still obsessed with the thing that he was obsessed with at the beginning. And actually, I think maybe that's the point of his life, is that he's meant to just be obsessed with things that have no answer. And actually that maybe the tugging of the thread is enough, and you don't have to get to the end of the thread, maybe until you die. So maybe what he's gifted at, what this fucked up person is gifted at and has talent at, is the thing that he's meant to be doing, which is just uncovering things that maybe have no meaning, but maybe sometimes they will. And I think that there's a really beautiful thing of like, not even the woman who owns the parrot knows, and he's like, he could have just like knocked on her door at the beginning of the film and been like, what the fuck is that parrot saying? And he would have got his answer, and maybe, you know, it would have been a shorter film.
The moment the squibble hit the deck, I was thinking, this movie is completely on my wavelength. What was your experience in getting to the same wavelength as the script is and getting to this bizarre version of Silver Lake?
I'm a heavy preparation kind of person. Like I like prepping really hard. I like deeply immersing myself in something months ahead of time before I film it. Whereas with this, I wanted to have no idea what was happening from moment to moment, day to day to day. I wanted it to feel totally spontaneous and totally reactive, because what Sam does a lot of the time is he's in reaction to the things around him. So my preparation was very, very different for this. It was actually more about just being kind of open to what was happening in the moment, which was a really fun thing to play with too.
Do you gravitate towards roles in reaction to other roles you just played? I mean, this obviously is very different to Hacksaw Ridge and Silence and Angels in America. Was there a sense that it would be nice to go in this direction at this point?
Oh, definitely, yeah. I think there's definitely, like, you can only, you know, almost die in Japan, you know, you can't do that too many times a year. Yeah. So I think I was feeling really drawn to something that weirdly was lighter, even though this isn't light. There was a lightness to it for me in the experience of it. Yeah, so I absolutely did feel like I needed some sort of break from martyring myself. But also I will say this, like, if I could draw comparisons to Father Rodriguez and Desmond Doss and Sam from Silver Lake, he thinks he's a hero. Like, he thinks he's going to save womankind from the clutches of patriarchal, toxic, masculine Hollywood. He believes himself to be the Travis Bickle of the West Coast in the modern world. He thinks he's going to wipe the scum off the streets. He's deluded.
If we watch the film backwards, is there any hidden messages?
Can we cue it up, please?
We've got a surprise for you. You kind of ruined it, but here we go. From the top, from the bottom. I mean, you're going to do that at some point, aren't you? You're going to like, somehow figure out a way. I'm proud of you for that. There's lots of hidden shit in there that I'm not even aware of, and David, I think, kind of guards very, very preciously.
I just wanted to know, what was your favourite scene, or what was your favourite scene to shoot?
Favorite scene to shoot? I don't know. I had a lot of fun filming all of it. We just had like a great time. We were just like a family. It was like all of it, like the whole film was like my favorite. I tell you what, beating up those kids.